Well done, FPL. You have well and truly outdone yourself here. But not only did you give us the most tastiest game week, right? You were like, look at all these points you get. Come here and enjoy it. Whispering sweet nothing into our ears. Promising us everything. Bam. All failed. And not only just a fail, a terrible, miserable, big fat 0 fail. For all of the Bournemouth players. I think that is pretty unlucky. Now, if you don't have a Scooby what I'm on about, I'm jealous because some of us, make FPL our life. So when things like this happen, we're crying ourselves to sleep. Where, just like every other geezer, I had triple Bournemouth. Thankfully, though, I wasn't a cheeky scrub, and I didn't captain Solanke. You might ask, why did I not captain Solanke? Well, to be honest, I captained Tavernier over Solanke because of penalties. You can only get minus points for penalties if you take them. I like it. Yeah, Solanke, we'll get to it, but Solanke only scored a 0. Kirkes also scored a 0 with his replacement scoring all of the points. And I captained Tavernier, who did have a decent game, but then got subbed off after 60 minutes and might not even start the next game. Fuming. So, yeah, this is how the game went. So, Sheffield United went 2-0 up. When we all have the FPL players against them, they're like, nah, just chilling. When we don't have them, 20 goals. 15 goals. Worst defence in the entire of the Premier League until our FPL players play against them. That's just how it works, isn't it? But yeah, Don Solanke, who most people captained, and, even though rank-wise it would have been bad for me, because he's so captained, I'm 9.8 millionth in the world. I just want my players to score. So I was still fuming that he missed the penalty. But to be fair, he skied it out of the stadium. He was closer to the bloody car back than he was the goal, so he deserves extra minus points for that. But not only did he get a penalty and miss the penalty, he then scored. Wait! And then it was ruled out for handball 2 minutes later. And then he did get that big fat 0. So yeah, again, that was unlucky. What was even more unlucky for me was that I didn't have Kirkes, and I took a hit to get him in because Senesi got injured and wasn't ready to play. So I was like, you know what? Rank points doesn't matter at this point. I just want to have some fun. So I thought, you know what? Kirkes is a pretty fun option. He was getting forward much. Like, he even had a shot on target. Beautiful stuff. Got a yellow card. So he got 0 points in the first half. And then he got bloody subbed off after 45 minutes. And not only that is bad enough anyway, subbed off with a 0-pointer. His replacement comes on and gets a goal and an assist. And he gets, literally, how many points did he get? He only went and got 12 points because he also picked up all of the bonus points as well. Those 12 points could have been Kirkes, but no, we got a big fat 0 instead. Again, that is a big fat unlucky. And then the final unlucky for that was I captain Tavernier. Look, one of the best ratings apart from Christie in the entire lineup. He was getting all the chances, creating all the chances, having all the shots, and couldn't do anything about it. Subbed off after 60 minutes, and then Sinistera comes on and does amazing, and he might even start the next game instead. So I've somehow, even though I've got triple Bournemouth, who have the best double potentially in game week history, in FPL history, in terms of the fixtures, playing Sheffield United and Luton, arguably the two worst teams the Premier League has ever seen, if it had Burnley in there instead of Luton. But you know what I mean. And I come out with 2 0-pointers and a 2-pointer after one of the games. Why do we even bother? Why do we even bother? Well, we'll get to it, but Son outscored my entire team. De Bruyne, playing against Liverpool, outscored all of my Bournemouth players. Against Sheffield United. Welcome to FPL. This is great. But yeah, that's that rant out of the way. That's that, okay? But I'm going to try and change this content because, I'm a cheeky scrub. I change my strategy, my content, whatever videos I do every single week. But I'm going to try and stick to an actual, theme and not necessarily a strict, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. But what I'm going to try and do is actually make this the Kneejerk podcast and go through all the games, talking about the games, have a bit more football side to it, and I can also still talk about the FPL players. And then it's almost like a knee-jerk reaction from what actually happened going into next week, where I'm talking more about the football that has occurred rather than what might happen next week, because that's a week away and, you know, all the other cheeky scrubs can do that. I just want to talk ball, basically, because it's really annoying, right? In my brain, my mind, I know football. I know tactics. I know it all, right? But when I try and use this right here to actually, like, converse what's going up in here, it just comes out terribly, right? So, like, you know, I would love to be a tactico and be like, oh yeah, let's break down this game, and I'm just like, caveman mode activated, Man United 2 penalties, what made them good? They shot the ball and it went in the hole, goal. Welcome to FPL Nathan Bacon Tactic Review. And that's basically all you need to know, really. But no, I'm going to try and go through all the games. So, Man United game, I was a cheeky scrub and missed the first half, which, you know, was when all the action was happening. All of the penalty action. I mean, it was actually a pretty even game. The fact that Onana was man of the match pretty much says it all. And Onana is literally the next, like, prime Pickford. If he doesn't concede, people say he's the best goalkeeper in the world because he's making all these saves, right? And then when he does concede, it's probably his fault. And then everybody is slating him. So there is no in-between, right? There's no, like, he's going to just be a decent player. He's either the worst goalkeeper in existence or the best goalkeeper in the world. Today, or yesterday, he was the best goalkeeper in the world, apparently. I mean, FPL-wise, could you consider him? I mean, when he's making the saves and getting 11 point does, you're like, hey, you know what? Yes. But then he'll probably still go and he still concedes to teams like Luton. You're like, never mind. He's one of those goalkeepers that kind of needs to make all of the saves to actually be worth it. Because, you know, keepers like Ederson and Alisson are boring because they're not making the saves, they're not getting the big boy points. But at least you can probably rely on the clean sheets. You can't really do that with Onana. I say this, they do have the joint most clean sheets or second most clean sheets in the league so far. But they got Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire. So, you know, their defense banned. Terrible. See, that is my amazing tactic breakdown, right? They've got Johnny Evans, they got Maguire, they must be terribly defensive. There you go. But yeah, FPL-wise, the good thing about this foot mob, right? So, yeah, this is foot mob if you guys have not used it. Not only can you have a look at this, all the ratings, you know, where Rashford scored from, the penalty spots, pen merchant, you can also click this fantasy button and it'll show you how many FPL points they got in actually the lineup of them starting. So that is very sexy indeed. I mean, the only player people probably have is either Garnacho, who, to be fair, has been doing decently recently because he got 2 assists here, he got another assist there, but he's only 5 million. So for 5 million, those returns and a starting player for Man United is actually still pretty damn sexy. But the problem is, he's not bringing in those big hauls like a Palmer, like a Saka, to be justified, you know? So, although price-wise he's definitely worth it, maybe one more for next season when he's probably more expensive, and then he definitely won't be worth it. But there's just other players ahead of him right now, isn't it? Oh, you raise me up! Maybe my microphone likes Garnacho because I started talking about him and he got excited. Fair play. I ain't judging. I mean, I am judging if that is your, like, number 1 FPL player. But yeah. So, yeah, that game, didn't watch. Doesn't care about my FPL team. So let's just stop chatting shite and move on, shall we? So the next game was that Bournemouth-Sheffield United game. Unlucky! We don't need to talk about that. Otherwise, I will cry. I will literally get the wet floor sign out for the amount of tears that will be rushing out my eyeballs. So no thank you to that one. Palace-Luton. I mean, I almost forgot or wanted to forget that they also had a double game week just because of how bad it was for Bournemouth. And it was actually, I mean, the fact that all of them blanked and I almost taken that as a whole is honestly just describes how it actually went, right? Kaminsky only conceded 1 and made 3 saves, so at least he got an extra point there. Doughty, we can't Doughty. He had, he made few chances. I say this, I mean, I could just look at it here. This is why I've literally got this up. So Doughty, he created one chance, and the one goal was an error from him. So he almost got an assist up the pitch. He also assisted his own clean sheet wipeout and Kaminsky's clean sheet wipeout to get no points. So nice one. Thanks for that. That's unlucky. And then, not only that, we had Carlton Morris, who I did also bring him in for Julian Alvarez. To be fair, Alvarez didn't do anything. But Carlton Morris also didn't bloody do anything. I mean, I think he had a decent chance, didn't he? Yeah, from close, but saved apparently. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the only other players people probably would have had other than Kaminsky, Doughty, and Morris were maybe like a Barkley. And yeah, Barkley's been doing well recently, isn't he? But he's not going to be getting all of the goals and assists. I mean, he got 2 assists against Man City, but that was just a weird cup game, you know? So, yeah, again, the fact that this almost feels like a haul because of how bad the Bournemouth game was, then that just says it all, really. And yes, this is a double game week. The game week's not over because we do still have all of these Bournemouth players against Luton players. So, the fact that we can celebrate that both of them play a terrible team next, we can be like, yay, they got a great fixture. The team they're playing next are so bad. But then you realise that bad team is each other. I mean, does that mean all of them are going to get points? Does that mean we're probably going to get all of them are somehow going to get minus points? Like Solanke own goal, but then Kaminsky goes and concedes 2 and they all get minus points. I mean, I wouldn't even put it past it at this point because, you know, it's just FPL is just unlucky. But yeah, and then, well, that was basically the 3 p.m. games because Wolves Fulham has about as much relevance to FPL than the bloody Brazilian league right now because no. I mean, to be fair, some people might have had Neto, not for long because he's injured. And like, hey, I mean, what's up with the Wolves attackers though? Their hamstrings must be made out of like cheese string because Hwang had the Hwang string injury last week. I mean, we did go through that pain, didn't we? We got him in and then he got injured in the first game against Sheffield United. Thanks for that one. See, and then we don't learn because then we get all the Bournemouth players against Sheffield United and they don't do anything. Turns out not every team is as good as Arsenal and that's why you can't score 5 goals, 6 goals against Sheffield United every game. Who would have thunk it, right? But thankfully I didn't thunk to get any Wolves players because, yeah, I was quite surprised about the result, to be fair, because Fulham have been, you know, doing well recently, but when you're, can I get to, when you're like mid-table, I guess I can't quickly look at the table from here, kind of on the mobile, where is it? Let me just be a cheeky scrub. There you go. Yeah, when you're pretty much like mid-table and you got nothing really to play for, I mean, could they push up to like a Europa League? Or Jurgen Klopp is having a proper rage quit right now. He's literally like, welcome to my rage streams right now. He's fuming because it should have been a penalty to Liverpool. Apparently, obviously he's going to say that, but to be fair, we'll get to that game after. Because, you know, this is the knee-jerk reaction. We're knee-jerk reaction to every single game. And all of my reactions are going to be like, yeah, Bacon Boy, don't care. Don't worry. I will provide you at least 1% of useful information. When will that be? It could be anywhere throughout this video. So unfortunately, you do have to stick around and also maybe smash the like button and almost maybe subscribe to my OnlyFans as well. Maybe that's what you have to do. But yeah, when you're mid-table like this, I mean, Wolves have been doing well recently, but again, I mean, oh, wait, hang on. Wolves are closer to Man United than Man United are to 4th. When the hell did that happen? I mean, people say have Man United got a chance of Champions League. Mate, Wolves have got a chance of Champions League at that rate. I mean, fair play. The fact that Chelsea are having the season they are and they're like actually could still get a Europa League or Conference League place is actually madness. What is also madness is I should actually talk about FPL, shouldn't I? Yeah, okay. So next game, Arsenal-Brentford. I mean, what has happened to Mr. Kai? I mean, all of you haters stand outside, including me, because we all said this is a bigger flop than a flip-flop. Like, no way would this work out. And not only has he got a goal here, not only did he get a couple of goals and a couple of assists last game, look at this now. Havertz, this game, goal. Last game, goal and assist. The game before that, goal and assist. Game before that, game and a goal and assist. 4 goals, 3 assists in 4 games, which means he's got the most FPL points out of anyone in the last 4 games, in the last 3 games, and the last 2 games. And he's still cheaper than, like, Saka, that we've all got. And to be fair, Saka did haul in these other games, but not as much as Havertz. So is Havertz having us on? As soon as we potentially get him in, will he keep doing that? Obviously not. To be fair, remember, big boy blank game week next week, so don't be getting in any of these good players. Or you could be a cheeky scrub, pretend the blank game week doesn't exist, go on holiday for 2 weeks. It is an international break after the blank game week, so it basically is an holiday for us all. And then just come back to the best squad for game week 30. Havertz hat-trick against Man City. You heard it here first. And last, because it's not going to happen. But yeah, the fact that Havertz is scoring... Wait, Saka goal. Oh, wait, that's the week before. Oh, that's the week before again. Okay, I was so confused then. I was like, Saka didn't score. He was a cheeky scrub with that blanket. The fact that Havertz and Rice are your goal scorers. Ben White is also now the highest scoring defender in FPL. I mean, if anybody said that at the start of the season, then you're lying, because you didn't say that. And if you did, throw enough shit at the wall, some of it will stick, you know. But the fact that the potentially rotation defender for a team which just concedes the most random goals. I mean, Ramsdale back in goals, and yes, he did get an assist on the other end of the pitch, mid-Brentford score, and, you know, that's just Ramsdale doing Ramsdale things. But I guess when you have Raya in goals, then you're not making as many mistakes like that. And that is why Arsenal do have the most clean sheets out of any team, I think. Could be true. I think they got 10. Well, White has 10, which I assume is from every game. He didn't play in that one. So no, okay, so no, they got 11. Fair enough. And yeah, White has the most points. So could we consider him? I mean, for his price, yes. Fixtures, not too bad. Watch him just randomly start getting rotated with Tomiyasu if we actually do consider him, though. Because the fact he's only 11% owned when he's the most highest scoring defender, but when you have Saliba also pretty high owned and Gabriel even higher owned than that, then that just says it all, really, doesn't it? But one player we might consider from the Arsenal is Declan Rice, right? I do love a Rice on my curry, but this boy is serving up something extra, because even though he's defensive midfielder Rice, right? And he loves to carry the ball as if he's playing rugby, the way he just grabs it and runs all the way up the pitch, right? But he's also now got 6 goals, 5 assists, which, apart from Saka, is actually almost the most attacking returns out of any other Arsenal player. And he's there, like, sometimes most defensive mid. Like, what? I mean, Arsenal have also been set-piece merchants, haven't they? I mean, did they get a set-piece goal No, they didn't this game or the last game, but before that they were getting, like, all of their goals were set-piece goals. And Rice is taking the set-pieces, so, you know, could be one we could consider. And to be fair, I think it's getting to the business end of the season. I think FBL-wise, you're going to start needing to choose players that actually have something to play for. So mid-table players like Eze, Harry Wilson, because you definitely consider them, right? Even though they're good, their fixtures could be good. That extra motivation, one, means psychologically they're just not, like, fully in it. They might be, but it's not guaranteed. But also it means because the team's not really, like, they need to win every game. They're probably going to experiment with a few different lineups, a few different players, different positions, all different stuff like that. I mean, is that true? Am I just talking on my ass? Probably. But it's just a way to justify choosing these players, right? Players in the title race you definitely want, right? Because there's no chance Declan Rice is getting a rest anytime soon. No chance at all. I mean, Arsenal could probably be like 20 points off. Gunnosaurus is the only chance of them winning the league. And they still wouldn't rest any players because that's just Arteta, right? I mean, Saka has, like, been potentially injured about 15 times this season and has still started the next game without failure. Like, what they are doing to him is actually criminal. But to be fair, I'm not complaining as an FPL player who wants my players to actually play. Right, I should actually take a breath because, you know, I'm just love just chat shite, don't I? So, I mean, we're 20 minutes in, and have I provided any useful information? No. Do I care? Yes, actually, I do. I do want to try and provide better content, and this is why with the Kneejerky podcast, I want to try and, like, put a bit more structure into it, because then you know what to expect. If you do want to watch, then you know what you're going to watch, and it's not like a guessing game. We're not playing Guess Who over here. And yeah, that's basically it. On to the today's game, which might be for tomorrow, or the day after, or the day after that, or the day after that, or the day after that, depending on when you're watching. I always hate it when people say that. If you're watching this today doesn't mean anything. When you're watching this the Tottenham game would have been finished because it is finished. Now, this game was even until McGinn decided to be out. Get it? Because he's not in. He's out because he got a red card. Was it a red card? Well, yeah, the referee gave it, so unlucky. But was it a red card? It was more of like, I don't even know how to describe. Player, McGinn. Ah! It wasn't necessarily like a red card. Like, it wasn't like an ankle breaker because he kind of just kicked his legs to trip him up. But I think because there was absolutely no intent, I can see why it is a red. I mean, personally, I would say that's more of an orange card. But that doesn't exist. So, you know, it could have been a red, could have been a yellow. The referee decided it was a red. And to be fair, the game was pretty much all going Spurs' way before that anyway. But as soon as that did happen, which, what minute even was it? 65th minute. I mean, they'd already scored 2 goals by then, so it was definitely all over then. But go on, my son. I mean, I got him in, was it last week I got him in? Yeah, I got him in last week for Hwang, upgrading one South Korean to the better one. And not only did he get, what did he get last week? Goal? He got a goal, no bonus. Scrub. This week, he was not a scrub because he got a goal, an assist, and another assist, and another assist, because he assisted me and all of you sexy boys out there and girls. A nice 14-point dub before bonus points. He's also on for all of the bonus points, I think. Let's have a look. Way. So go on, my son, Sunny Boy, Sunny Jim. I mean, he's probably close to like... I mean, he was injured and that, but he's actually like rivaling Salah and Saka points. And most of us probably haven't even had him for the last like 2-3 months. So fair play there. 14 goals, even though he's been injured. And it's quite interesting this season, actually, in FPL, because, I mean, if we actually go to the most highest scoring players, Onana, but at points he's been the worst goalkeeper in the world, so it's like, what? Defenders, it's mainly Arsenal and Newcastle, but Trippier, like, he was getting all of the points at the start of the season, right? I mean, the second half of the season, he's probably in the bottom half of defenders, not the top half. Midfielders, we got Saka up the top, to be fair, yeah, he's not, like, scoring big boy points. He's only had, like, double-digit or, like, only 6 times now. Nah, terrible. But he's more of a, you know, get a goal here, get an assist here, get an assist here. And surprisingly, those points do add up. 13 goals, 10 assists, and 178 points. Fair play. Salah, yeah, he's been injured. And, well, yeah, he's been injured pretty much for, like, 2 months, hasn't he? So, for him to still be up there is still pretty impressive. And then Foden having the season of his career is still behind them. So that just kind of shows you that's how that goes, isn't it? But the fact that, like, most of the points are pretty damn spread out. There's no, like, you know, usually we have a Salah completely storming it. I mean, even the forwards, Haaland isn't first. Watkins is the highest scoring player in the game. The fact that Ollie Watkins has scored the most FPL points out of any player this season. What do any of us cheeky scrubs know? Because I bet you not a single content creator has had him all throughout the season or probably even considered getting him at the start of the season. So, you know, we say this, we'll still ignore him. I don't have him in my team. Am I going to get him in my team? Maybe. There'll probably be people that won't even look to getting him in for the rest of the season, even though he's the highest scoring player. So, you know, that just shows what cheeky scrubs we are. But this game, he did frick goal. So that was unlucky for him. And Spursy just dominate. They just do that, don't they? Like, whenever I'm just going to call him Post Malone because it's just easier to pronounce than his surname. It's not that hard to pronounce, but Post Malone's just funnier, isn't it? So whenever Post Malone's like, you know, people are sometimes doubting him, like, wait, is he actually that good? He just whips out a performance, I guess, for his team, and they end up just bloody tanking it, don't they? I mean, where are they in the table now? They are just behind Villa by 2 points with a game in hand, so they could be getting up to the top 4 before Villa even play next, so that would be very good for the Spursy. But I think their fixtures aren't that great, are they? So they obviously play in the blank. That's where they get the game back off the Villa. And then, yeah, they do have good games like Luton, Nottingham Forest, but they do still have Man City, Arsenal, and Liverpool to play. And then Burnley and Sheffield United. So if you look at it, that is actually wild because not only do they have a direct hand in who will win the title, they could literally beat two of these teams and completely flop it against the other team, and that will be the team that wins the league, which is crazy enough anyway. They then also get to decide relegation straight after. Mate, being Tottenham right now must be so fun, because even if they don't even get Champions League, they can single-handedly decide the table themselves. They decide the title, Champions League, and relegation, all within 5 weeks. The other teams don't need to play. Just let Tottenham play these games and just end the season there. Just leave it at that, innit? But to be fair, when Son does score all these points and all these goals, then let them play as much as they want. You know, that's all I'm saying. But yeah, that game was very good for FPL-wise. Brighton, I mean, do we care? I mean, if we actually look over here and look at the Brighton, right? Brighton, what's that? Brighton, no, it's gross. Funny joke, haha. To be fair, he has actually been pretty good. And stats-wise, he's creating all of the chances. I swear he creates more... He assists more than something that assists. I can't be bothered to make an analogy because I just had a Sunday dinner and I'm absolutely full and my brain's just fried. But it was funny when people were tweeting, oh, gross assist, own goal. What do you mean gross assists? It wasn't that bad. I know it wasn't a beautiful assist, but saying it was gross is harsh. Funny joke. This is... My only comedy is anti-comedy because I'm not funny. And that's what makes me funny. Yeah, I mean, Brighton-wise, we don't really care in FPL, right? They have kind of fallen off a cliff, and a steep one at that, because they were up in the Champions League spots. I mean, they're not too far off, but, get a couple more wins, they could be up there. Fixture-wise, I have no idea what they're looking like, to be honest. Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea. Oh, really tough games. And Chelsea still to play, so, you know, all things could happen there. And then Forest. I mean, could Forest be dragged into a relegation battle? I mean, not only dragged, but grabbed by the scruff of the neck. They're only... If Luton win their game in hand, which I will be... Well, will I be fuming because they play Bournemouth? But, you know, we'll get into that in the preview. The very long preview, because we got a whole 4 games next week, game week. Boys, we're spoilt for choice, right? But if they do win that game, all of a sudden, Nottingham Forest are in the relegation zone, and they're like, oh, damn. They should have kept Steve Cooper. I mean, I know he's a bit of an ugly bugly, and every time they don't win, he's like... But Nuno is literally Steve Cooper 2.0, and did they need someone better? I mean, the fact that in this game, they have players like Alanga who's doing really well, and Hudson-Odoi doing really well, and they decided to start a front three of Origi, Wood, and Gibbs-White. Have you ever... yourself out there considered being a football manager? Because sometimes I look at lineups like that. Their 2 best players, Alanga and Hudson-Odoi, against a Brighton team who literally love to bomb their fullbacks forward. You could have literally just got the wingers out wide, pushed them back the entire game, or even just got them on the counter-attack, and at least give yourself a chance, right? No. You do this, start Chrissy Wood up front, and more like Chris Floppy, because he ain't giving you any wood with just 1 chance, but he skying it in the bottom corner. Nice one. I mean, yeah, he had 1 shot, but I have more shots than that on my sleep. That's it for Brighton then. Next up, West Ham Burnley. Oh, boys, throwback. This is a proper throwback. Daddy Ings. Oh, yes, Daddy. Not only getting his, I say... first start. He has had 1 start this season, and it was against Burnley, but he didn't start this game against Burnley. But he finally got his first goal of the season. Shout out to Daddy Ings, channel legend. I mean, I had him when he went on that crazy run for Southampton, and that's why I did really well that season, my best season. You know, the season that I didn't take 20 hits a week, and that's why I'm not 9 millionth in the world in that year. But, you know, we got the 3rd in the world this year, so who's the real winner? Daddy Ings is, because he scored, hey. But somehow Burnley almost won. They played well. Datro Fofana, I mean, he's actually doing pretty well. FPL-wise, would you consider him? I mean, what's he started? 5 games, and he's got 3 goals now, so it's not too bad. And they do have good fixtures, and they're going to be fighting for their lives. Is he on pens? I don't bloody know. I don't even think Burnley fans know. They probably won't get a pen at all this season because, you know, you actually need players that are good enough to win pens, to take pens. But, you know, their team is pretty shite. Is it shitter? Is it not as shit as some other teams? Maybe. Stats-wise, they do well, though. I think in their last game, I can't remember who they played now. Yeah, was it Bournemouth? Stats-wise, they absolutely destroyed them. Look at this, all of the chances, all of the shots. But again, if you've got players like Vitinho, O'Shea being your closest players to scoring, then you know something's going on, right? But they almost did get a win here. I mean, Mavropanos was like, you know what, I'm bored of being a West Ham. Let's just score in Burnley. Oh, wait, look, wrong claret and blue colour team. Whoopsies, own goal. And then at half-time, David Moyes must have had a proper yippee-yap, a speaking yap, and he's in their year because they listened. You know, Paqueta comes straight in. They don't like to do it the easy way, do they? 1 minute, maybe even a few seconds after the second half starts, and then they don't get the equaliser to the 90 plus 1 minute. I mean, talk about having some sort of adventure or some sort of adrenaline in that because, you know, don't leave it easy. But what wasn't easy, or what was a very... I was going to say what was a very uneasy. What was a very easy watch because of how good of a game it was Liverpool Man City. Now, boysies. Games like this and the way that it went, especially the first half, makes me just like want to quit FPL and just experience football for football. Because that first half was absolutely exhilarating stuff. It honestly gave me a semi. It was that good. And I don't even support any of these teams. I mean, so much so I was so engrossed in the football that when De Bruyne assisted Stones for the goal with a very cheeky corner routine and getting the goal right close there, I completely forgot that I had De Bruyne in my FPL team. I mean, he's been doing nothing for basically weeks, not even starting in some games. I literally forgot he even existed. So the fact that he did not only exist in this game, but also got an assist, lovely jubbly. But again, my only points was Son and De Bruyne, so can I really be happy? I don't know. But this game did make me happy. Unfortunately, the second half was kind of just like, eh. I mean, Ederson, thankfully, I don't have him in my FPL team because I was considering it because, you know, the safe goalkeeper, he'll probably get clean sheets, right? They're the best defence in the league. Not only did Ederson give away the pen, he then also conceded the pen. He got a yellow card. He was injured as well and had to get subbed off. And Man City this season against big teams are not it. They are not it. Are they tired after all these games they've been playing after winning a treble last year? Because I don't think they've won a single game against the current top like 5 or 6 teams, which is pretty bad considering you're almost at the end of the season and they're in the title race. But you know, fair enough. And in this game, they're honestly lucky to get a point. And after the first half, you would have definitely not said that. I mean, can I look at the stats just for the first half? Look at this. Domination in the first half. Yeah, Liverpool had some chances, but it was more like half chances and, you know, on the counter-attack and that. Second half, all Liverpool. Look at that. Man City not in it at all. And the fact that, like, Jarell Quansah, fair play, 21-year-old, is absolutely dominating the world's best striker, Erling Haaland, the robot, then that's just when you know that your team's playing well, right? I mean, Klopp just loves to do this for dramatic effect, doesn't he? He's like, right, first half, lads, make it look like you're crap. Make it look like you don't want to be there. Because then when we get in for second half, I'll actually tell you how to play. Second half starts, Liverpool go and play an incredible half, and then every single time they just look like the best team in the world, only in the second half. I mean, do they do it on purpose? Obviously not, but it almost looks like they do because of how frequently they do it. But boy, oh boy, what a game it was. FPL-wise, I mean, Salah's back, so that's one thing. Obviously, they don't play next week. We'll get into the fixtures next week, all 4 fixtures, but he's not ready back. He's back and got some minutes in his legs, so when he plays, he could be back in our FPL teams, but not yet, hold your horses. And then players like De Bruyne and Haaland also don't play next week. And then play Arsenal at home. So maybe they could be on the shopping trolley out of our teams. But yeah, that's how the week went. Oh yeah, finally, I do want to say, Estupinan. Mate, his scores recently have literally been binary. 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. The 1 week I finally don't play him and I don't need him. And I could have played him over a bloody Bournemouth defender. He goes and gets a clean sheet. I like it! I think this game week, and just FPL in general can just be pretty much summed up in one word. Do you know what that is? It's not unlucky. It's not. It's not. It's anti-lucky. Yeah, but 36 points. I mean, pretty much all of them from Sonny Boy. Triple Bournemouth, triple loot done for the double game week, and a triple disappointment. Nice one. Right, that's the review of my knee-jerk reaction. My knee-jerk reaction to the players you need to get in, or what you need to do with your FPL team after this week, is delete your team. To be fair, that's not even a knee-jerk reaction. With how bad FPL has been this season, well, I don't want to say bad, how chaotic it's been, right? Absolutely nothing goes the way of the crowd, which is good in one way, but is bad in another way, because all the obvious things are terrible, so maybe that's a good thing. If I was playing FPL seriously, I'm sure I would like it, but I'm not, and I'm just having fun, and it's not fun when stuff like this happens, okay? But what is fun is next week, because we got 4 fixtures. Oh, now that's terrible. Not only do we have 4 fixtures, one of them's on TV. What am I going to do? Watch Coronation Street? Play bloody Simpsons Hit and Run on PS2? Boring. And not only that, the one game that we do actually care about, the... Wait. I was so confused then. I was like, the double game week game, that's next week. That's not on TV either, but we're on to the next week. The one game that we probably do care about is on TV, but the other games are not. Not even the one game on a Sunday is not on TV in the UK. And they wonder why people are pirating games. I mean, thankfully, due to NordVPN flights, I can travel to America in seconds and be able to potentially watch a game in some sort of way, you know. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Game is game. What is game is not this, because 4 fixtures, and this is how my FPL team is looking. Can I give up now? I just want to sit in silence, a moment of respect for the 2 players that are playing in this squad. Cheers, lads. Nah, okay, it's not that bad. I am a cheeky scrub and put my other players on the bench, but without Luton being, without Brentford defences being, and Areola being a tip man when he's not saving penalties, those guys might actually get me less points than the guys not playing, because they might actually get minus points. So thanks for that one. But I'm looking at this. I don't have any chips left because I was a cheeky scrub and, you know, I kind of just used all my chips in the start of the season and finished third in... I finished third in the world in Game Week 1, right? My season ended there. That finished. Gone. Yeah, I didn't mean to say that, but that's what happened. So I got no chips left. I'm 9.8 millionth in the world because, you know, I've been a cheeky scrum, just having a bit of fun this year. What do I do? Do I take 20 hits just for the memes, just to make a team? Do I do nothing? Do I almost pretend to do a free hit or a wildcard team next week and try and play seriously for the end of the year to try and practice for next year? Because I will be trying to play seriously again next year, because I have a very cool series and strategy and all that, different ideas can come in, but I have to wait till next year for that. But I don't know what to do. I think somebody said it nicely in the last video. They commented, Nathan Bacon, try not to quit challenge. That's what every game week is going to be. And basically, that's what it's going to be. Because right now, I have Son and Kaminsky. If Son doesn't score an hat-trick, I am actually going to end up with 0 points in a game week, even though I have 15 great players. Sorry, did I just say that? Even though I have about 2 good players. I mean, what even is this team? I think what I might do is transfer out De Bruyne, because I'm going to be getting rid of him anyway, for somebody else that's playing. Only make one transfer, not take a hit, and then take like a minus 50 next week. And then make a good squad to try and practice for next year. But yeah, I mean, Brentford. Burnley are actually playing all right. But FPL-wise, they're not good because they don't score much. And they're actually not conceding too much. They do concede enough, but not enough for somebody to hold against them. And Brentford, I mean, I wouldn't even be confident on Tony scoring there. You can tell he stopped betting on himself because he stopped being good When he was betting on himself, that's why he was scoring. He had that motivation. Now that he can't bet on himself, he's literally turned into like prime Lukaku and not the ones who scores goals. The fact that Luton at home just means that Nottingham Forest away are just going to be boring, and that's probably going to be I would say a 0-0. It's going to be a 0-0 with no clean sheets, and that's just the way it's going to go because FPL-wise going to be crap. Fulham Spursy, I mean, this is going to be an interesting one because Fulham, I rate Fulham. I don't know why, because they have been doing shite. And Spursy, you know, depends what Spursy turns up, the Bottlemen or the Cattlefish, I don't know. But they could go and score some points there. I think even if Spursy don't end up doing well, you know, it's a 2-2, a 3-2, Son could get involved. Hopefully not on a red card, but hopefully in some goals. And then West Ham Villa, it's just the battle of the Burgundies, really, isn't it? West Ham, again, don't really know what they're doing. Like, one week they'll look like prime West Ham, and the other week they look like prime West Ham. What generation you want it to be, you choose, because they don't even know. And then Aston Villa, I don't even rate them right now. Like, they've been, you know, they were doing very well at this season. The last few weeks, they've just absolutely tanked it. They've been doing terrible. But then even they didn't still pick up results when they've been doing bad, right? Like, they almost lost to Luton. They almost bottled it against Forest, but they didn't. But then they did proper bottle against the bottom end today. So, all right, microphone, stop getting excited, all right? Aston Villa aren't that exciting. But transfers-wise, yeah, I guess I pretty much just get in a Spurs player or somebody like Douglas Luiz and just chill, really, innit? But my knee-jerk reaction is FPL, horrible game. Double game weeks, overrated. Don't buy into them because they're terrible, innit? I mean, double game weeks aren't overrated, but bad teams in double game weeks does not make them a good team. Remember that. We don't remember that every time, but oh well. But yeah, that's going to be it for the Kneejerky podcast. So this is kind of the new, I don't know, strategy, structure, whatever you want to call it, where I'm going to try and attempt to talk about the games, be it Nathan Bacon tactical, talk more about the football, try and show, you know, the stats, the tables a bit more, and still with an FPL, you know, theme around it, but it's more about the football, what's happened, and then that's it. But it's going to be more audio-based. Like, I didn't do a good job now, but I'm going to try and describe my team a bit more and describe what I'm actually showing on the screen, not just, like, put it up on the screen and be like, what is that? When the audio listeners is like, yes, what is that? I don't know, because I can only hear it. But yeah, this is going to be on all of the audiobles over, like, Spotify, whatever one that is. Amazon, is it? Oh, no, that's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and it is on Amazon Podcasts as well. It's on every podcast, basically, or you just stick to watching it on YouTube. Because, to be fair, watching it will be better, but if you want an audio version for some reason, you want some ASMR Nathan Bacon in your ear, oh, yes, Daddy, then there you go. You can have that. But, yeah, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, and bye.